The People's National Party, PNP, put forward reasons why the party lost the February 25 general elections. The internal analysis was carried out by a 13-member appraisal committee led by Member of Parliament for South East St. Andrew, Julian Robinson. The PNP believes it was never election ready, and despite having the advantage of being the incumbent, it concedes not enough was done to build on that momentum. Mr. Robinson says the party ran a divided campaign.
There were different centers, and if you notice the language, we said the campaign was divided.
So centers was the euphemism for another campaign.
There were different centers that operated without the level of coordination that typically surrounds national campaigns. Right? That has been acknowledged in the report, and we have said that as one of the issues and one of the weaknesses.
Another frank disclosure: the party lacked coordination in its fundraising efforts. Mr. Robinson explains that there was no central group in the party that pooled monies collected on behalf of the party.
It was apparent that there were different centers within the campaign management structure, and there was a lack of coordination in the fundraising effort. And instead of having a single center that had all the funds coming into, or being aware, because in every campaign, persons will raise, people have different capacities to raise funds, but it was clear that there wasn't that central coordination of all the funds that came into the PNP as a whole, and as such, that led to what I would call some suboptimal outcomes, quite frankly.
The Robinson-led post-election review committee also revealed that the decision not to participate in the national political debates was a disastrous decision, which the party paid dearly for. It was the PNP's campaign director, Dr. Peter Phillips, who insisted that the party would not participate in the debate unless then-opposition leader Andrew Holness would declare his finances to the Integrity Commission of Parliament. Dr. Phillips had maintained that the party had done this to demonstrate to the electorate that they were deserving of a second term. In hindsight, the party now rejects that view. So will Dr. Phillips be penalized? Member of the appraisal team, Senator Wentworth Skeffrey, says that's not necessary because Dr. Phillips' post expired after the election cycle.
That position comes to an end when the election ends. But how you go forward in reorganizing for future election, that's for current leadership and future leadership to determine. So the power principle doesn't mean that you can't fire someone who doesn't know have a position. But no, you ask a question, let's just answer. So the power principle exactly is what we are going through now in having real authentic data to make decisions going forward. So the issue of firing as you want to go, it could not be on the cards now. You no longer have a campaign director. It was a temporary position for a specific purpose.
The post-election review committee says it wasn't their mandate to hold anyone accountable for the party's election lost. Chairman of the committee, Julian Robinson, says the PNP must now move forward in implementing its recommendations in order to return the party to better days.
The need to strengthen the secretariat in terms of organizing, enumeration, communication, and recruitment. Third, the implementation of a pilot program to reform the role of party groups. Fourth, the establishment of a group of mentors to provide guidance and support, especially to new members of parliament and candidates in the rebuilding process. Fifth, the need for aspirants to be approved by the Integrity Commission prior to them facing the delegates internally. Sixth, the need to develop a time frame within which internal disputes are resolved and the decisive application of necessary sanctions.
The findings will be presented to the committees of the party and then to the People's National Party PNP's National Executive Committee by the end of June, after which the full document will be presented to the public. I am Leslie Ann Sherwood for Scene Caribbean News.
As is well recognized, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As is now recognized, the results of the general elections held yesterday, September 3rd, have been very unfavorable to the People's National Party. As in all undertakings such as this, the ultimate responsibility must rest with the leader of the party. Accordingly, I consider it my duty to demit office as president of the party, and I have written to the chairman of the People's National Party to ask that the National Executive Council and the executive of the party make the necessary arrangements as soon as is practicable to elect a new leader of the party. I would like to thank all those who voted yesterday for the People's National Party. I would also like to thank all those who worked on the campaign. Many of them, indeed all of them, went way beyond the call of duty to support the People's National Party's efforts in the field. The party has many lessons to learn from the experience. I expect that the executive will shortly establish a review committee to analyze the causes of the defeat and to chart a path for rebuilding. I'd like to say in closing that I have had, over these past 4 decades, a tremendous opportunity to serve my country and my party in giving public service. And I relish this and certainly will do all I can to ensure a smooth transition of the leadership of the party and a swift rebuilding of the People's National Party so that it can continue to fulfill its historic mission on behalf of the people of Jamaica. Thank you very much.
Comrade General Secretary, comrade officers, all the comrades on the platform, all the comrades in the audience, all the people of Jamaica who are listening, watching. First of all, I think it's my duty as a believer in democracy to acknowledge and concede the result and to congratulate our opponents, the Jamaica Labour Party, for their victory tonight. Jamaica's democracy is important and we must cherish it. Sometimes it brings bitter disappointments. Sometimes those disappointments are laced with a tinge of a sense that not all is fair and just, but it is very, very important that we put democracy ahead of all of those feelings. And I accept the result of these elections, and although obviously I'm very disappointed in the outcome, I think it is only correct to expressly acknowledge the success that our opponents have managed to gain today. I want to thank a lot of people. And first of all, I have to thank the comrades and supporters of South St. Andrew for standing with me, for coming out today in their numbers, and for giving us a decisive victory in the constituency which I have the honor to serve. I also want to thank our campaign team, led by our campaign director, our General Secretary, Dayton Campbell, Dr. Dayton Campbell. Also a newly minted Member of Parliament. Congratulations to him on his victory in Eastern Westmoreland. And all the other members of the campaign team who worked with him. There are a number of names there. I don't want to attempt to go through all those names because I'm going to probably forget somebody and then I'll regret it. But they have done a tremendous job. The communications team, I want to thank them publicly for the work they have done. And that is a night and day kind of job. It starts very early in the morning and goes on till late at night. So their commitment to the task at hand is remarkable, and I want to thank them deeply for it. All of our candidates who ran in this election and their campaign teams, I want to thank them for their effort, for their commitment to the country, to the democratic process. I want to, of course, congratulate the 29 who have been successful tonight. And we have more than doubled our number of MPs tonight. And for those who were not first, and they still committed themselves extremely well. And I want to say that this was a wonderful demonstration of the maturity of Jamaica's political process, that we could go through such a closely fought election without any violence to speak of. And we must all give ourselves a round of applause. In our homes, if you're listening, here at PNP headquarters, because that was not always the case. And I want to just thank all of the pioneers who led that process to where it is today, where I think we can safely say that Jamaica is a place that really cherishes and respects the democracy that we have built. I want to thank the people of Jamaica for having received us so well and having given us hundreds of thousands of votes and given us 29 seats. We don't take that for granted. We thank you for your time today. I know the voting was often painfully slow, and that's an issue which more will have to be said about, because it's an undemocratic situation when people, elderly and other people, have to be in the hot sun lining up to vote for sometimes hours, and it should not be that way. We should do better, and we have to do better. I must tell you that I'm proud of the platform that we put forward for the people of Jamaica. It was a truly progressive platform, a platform that offered a radical reform to the land tenure issues that have plagued this country for centuries. A radical platform that would have enhanced the standard of living and quality of life of those working families that are struggling to survive now by giving them significantly lower tax burdens on their income. Progressive in a social justice sense as well, around issues such as beach reform, contract work, and other things which really need to be addressed because there are injustices in our society which cannot be tolerated and should be modified and rejected in their current form. So I just want to thank all of the team that came together and developed those ideas and put them forward boldly and without reticence. And I think that for many Jamaicans, they saw the benefits and the power that that platform and those ideas and proposals would have delivered. So ladies and gentlemen, for us it's a difficult night. This is not an easy speech to make. One wasn't hoping for a result which is not success. And it means that the government will get its third term, and we will have as a nation to deal with that going forward. But the People's National Party, I'm happy to tell you, is alive and well, is a powerful political organization. And has embraced modernity in its methods, and has definitely, I think, over the last few years, come a long way towards being a competitive political force in Jamaica. And as the General Secretary said, the work begins right away to prepare ourselves for the next opportunity to offer ourselves to serve the nation in government. And I believe the people will, in due course, give us that chance. Ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, the word is love. Power to the people. God bless you all. Thank you for your support.